Hey guys, my name is Bando, this is Brexit Bando, and this is the second time I'm recording this video because I've been having some audio problems, so I hope this is coming through nice and clear. I'd like to talk to you, among all the controversy we've had in the last couple of days and the negativity, on a bit of a different subject, something that's not just drama, it's not just news, it is what I like to call the Space Marine problem. It is well known that Space Marines get more releases than anyone else. And this is showcased quite dramatically with the recent release or reveal of two Dark Eldar models, a wonderful update to the Archon and the re-release of Lady Malice, which is really great. I like both those models, I spoke about them in a previous video, and I'm very happy to see them. But the toilet seat had barely cooled before GW was dumping Calgar and a dual-purpose Honor Guard Victrix Guard box set, Cato Sicarius, and I think at the same time a Jump Pack Captain was shortly thereafter as well. We've all seen the meme about the equal attention cake for Space Marines, and it is no secret why they get the releases that they do. They simply sell better than everyone else, and that is completely understandable. If you are a business and one aspect of your business sells better than everything you do, it's probably wiser to put more of your focus into that side of the business. You know? If I make toilet cleaner and bread rolls and more people are buying my toilet cleaner, I should stop baking. Pretty simple. Now, it's not a huge problem. I like Space Marines. I really like Space Marines. I autistically like Space Marines. They are my hyperfixation. They are my jam, as the kids would say. But why do they get such focus? Why are they so popular? Well, there's a couple of reasons. They are the good guys, as it were, of the setting, and that's a whole argument to have on its own. But for the content of this video, they are the good guys, the heroes, the protagonists, the main characters. They are the shield against the dark. They are the knights in heavy armour, fighting against horrible waves after waves of inhuman evil. They are the hyper-masculine, badass, cyborg war daddy. And this is great because, honestly, that is something that's kind of missing at the moment from pop culture. You see a lot of it, where we've had, during the early 2000s, during the GWOT, the Global War on Terror, there was a massive influx in hyper-masculine video games, TV shows, that sort of thing, muscles and guns, because that's what we were. We were at war. That's who we were at the time. And over the last 20 years we have seen a decline in that, and a cultural shift. Now, whether that's for better or for worse is a discussion to have somewhere else, but pop culture has definitely moved away from the idea of the noble, great big masculine hero, and the ideas of the good guys wear white, the bad guys wear black, and has horns on his helmet. That kind of ethos has disappeared from pop culture. Space Marines are a little bit off that. They are, as horrible as they are, they still are kind of the identifiable good guys. This is the whole argument, good guy versus bad guy. Well, you've got demons from hell and we have a literal angel on our side, so. And Space Marines really capture that, I think. They capture that Master Chief energy from Halo. They capture the kind of, Arnie in Terminator 2. They are that kind of King Arthur, his knights, Prince Valiant, all that kind of nobility. And yes, as horrible as they are, little boys still love to play as, warriors. And that's what the vast majority of us in this hobby are. We are effectively just little boys. And this means that the horrible ogres, the evil trolls, the nasty evil elves, all of that, they get less focus because they're not as popular. They're simply not as popular. I have spoken about a gentleman who used to go to my local GW, who was a huge fan of the Eldar back in the day. I'm not entirely sure if he's still even in the hobby, but he basically had bought from because he was a little bit older than me, he was in the hobby before me, so when I started I'd noticed him because his painting was phenomenal. He had purchased basically between the space, I think the last time I saw him was around 5th or 6th edition, every single Eldar model that had ever been released that you could get your hands on. He had multiple 1,000-point armies for every one of the main craft worlds, to the point where he had bought maxed out force organization charts for all of them. He had collected Warhammer. Done it. Start to finish. And, done a fantastic job. But I remember him coming in, and he was like me, he was on the spectrum, and now that I know that, the way he acts is very clear to say that to me. I didn't know that at the time, because it wasn't really something that we knew about at the time. And he would come into our store, and I'd be sat there painting, because I used to get dropped off quite regularly to sit at the store painting my models while my parents just got on with shopping around town. And he would walk in, and he would hold his bag up in front of him with both his hands, like a little old lady holds her shopping bag, and it's like burnt into my mind. And he would go, "Excuse me, are there any new releases for the Eldar this week?" And the guy would go, "Oh, sorry mate, we've not got anything today, but I hear they might be getting something next month." And that was a little cruel because, I don't think the staff knew that anything was coming out next month. And the one or two times that something had come out, he would purchase it there and then. But he would just go, okay, and he would turn around and walk out the shop. He had no interest in Space Marines. No interest in Dark Eldar when they came out. They just, he got showed them and he was like, okay, and then he would walk away. You knew he wasn't interested because it would always be this, okay, and he was done. Like, okay, fine. Fair dues. I should see if I can find him, because he was he was friendly, he was funny. But there are people out there who love non-Space Marine factions. They really do. And I know there are guys out there who love the Orcs, for example. Now, Space Marines get the vast majority of books, releases. I wouldn't say artwork. I think the artwork's fairly balanced, but they probably get a majority of the artwork, just not a vast majority. They've certainly got the majority of video game representation, as I believe there has been only maybe 3 or 4 games that have not been Space Marine focused. Out of the vast majority of video games, I can think of Fire Warrior, that orc side-scrolling shooter. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the Metal Slug for the orcs. Then there's the Speed Freaks game, and then no, I've already said Fire Warrior, so it is only 3. Yeah, I can't think of anything else where the non-human factions are not the focus of everything. So yeah, they get the majority of coverage because they sell. However, to me, that just means that everyone else needs more coverage. Because when a new when a new edition releases, like this is a brilliant example, right? When Heresy 3.0 released, the amount of people starting Iron Warrior armies exploded. Now, Iron Warriors have have existed for a long time. They were mentioned in all the other rulebooks, all the other, Libras and all that had the Iron Warriors mentioned. But because they suddenly were, like, on the front cover, they were in the animations, everyone was like, oh, they got kind of cool. And people started making their armies. So, surely that would be the same for everyone else. If we got a good trilogy of books about the Eldar that didn't just crap out after book 2 because they didn't know what they were doing, if it had some Eldar acting as heroes from their point of view and winning, not just the Space Marines come out on top because that's who they are, but it's an Eldar book, not, an Orc book. Let's not have an Orc book called Gazkul, where the majority of the focus is on the Black Templars, for example. Let's have a book about the Orcs, where we get to meet some named characters and we follow them through the series, and they have development, and they win, and they're cool, and they're consistent in the way they act. They're getting old sucks. You start forgetting everything. The Something and the Divine, the Necron book, that's widely regarded as one of the best Games Workshop books out there. And that's a Necron-focused book. Why can we not get more of that? Let's get an effort to put out more non-Space Marine focused fiction, animations, White Dwarf articles, do army showcases on Eldar armies, on Orc armies, on, Tyranid armies. Bring back White Dwarf rules for things, give us, vehicle design rules for the Orcs. Do a big showcase on Warcom about converting looted trucks and stuff, and looted, heavy tanks and all that sort of thing we used to do back in the day. If we put a little effort into the other factions, people will be more interested in buying them. If their models got regular updates, not 20 years between, people are going to buy them. The issue here is that shareholders need to go and take a step back and stop looking at the short-term gain of, mass sales of another Space Marine release, and actually think about planting the seeds to expand your crop. Because if you just keep pushing out Space Marines, right? If it's Space Marine, Space Marine, Space Marine, Space Marine all the time, why is anyone going to play 40k over Heresy? Because 40k is just Space Marines versus aliens. And if no one's playing the aliens, you've lost a major aspect of the game, major aspect of the lore. If all your lore is saying Space Marines are out there kicking aliens' backsides, but every tournament you go to is nothing but Space Marine armies, it's never going to feel right. You're never going to relive that Hell's Reach moment as the Orcs storm into the temple to wipe out the last seeds of resistance, as Grimaldus and his squad hold that line with the Sisters of Battle and the remaining Steel Legion. You're never going to get that moment yourself if it's just Dave's Ultramarines for the 4th time that month. You're not. It's just going to be, oh look, my Ultramarines are going up against Dave's Ultramarines again. Oh, Steve's bought some Blood Angels. Yay! But if we get more interest into the alien races, like Orcs would be such an easy one to do. They've had such a bad release recently. They get we get some new updated boys, but they're monopose. The squad's loadout is 50-50 between the two loadouts you can actually take. So good luck making a full squad of them that doesn't look like ass. But here's your still regular multi-part boys kit, which is a fine kit, by the way. It's just a little small and just needs updating slightly. The kit itself is absolutely fine. Update the boys, update the knobs, update the freebooters, update the, give us a generic multi-part war boss kit so we can kit him out really, really well. Ideally, bring back Gorkamorka. Give me Gorkamorka again. A standalone book, and that's something I think Games Workshop should look into, is standalone rules. Like, not everything needs its own range of models. You can just go and use models from your other range. Now, I know that's never going to happen, because GW will instantly go, what's going to stop people buying them from third parties? Well, generally, the thing that stops them buying from third parties is getting a better deal from you. But that's a whole different question. But Gorkamorka. Book, big box set, whole new range refresh of orcs. Give us Gorkamorka, 40 boys, like 2 or 3 trucks, a new style of truck, some half tracks, something weird and wonderful, and some terrain. Watch that box fly off the shelves. Guarantee it. At the same time, redo Space Hog. Why has Space Hog taken this long to be redone? Look at expanding these alien races. The Tau should get way more auxiliaries. Give us this, like, if 40k starts getting like the Arcane Journal style books, which would be a good thing, you could do a whole book on the Tau Empire auxiliaries with entries for, human auxiliaries and different alien races. Like, I want to do a Tau army, I really do. As much as that's going to get me dragged out behind the chemical sheds and shot, I really want to do a Tau army, and my vision for this Tau army is them helping a lesser Xenos race fight its liberation against the Imperium, right? And I want Tau fighting on a swamp planet. And I want them wearing ponchos, covered in pouches, and I want the locals to be little frogmen. Little frog dudes, like that guy from the latest Jedi Fallen Order game, or whatever it is. The really annoying one, I can't remember his name. But little frog dudes with, like, rifles. That'd be cool. I like that. Give us the ability to build them. Give us a whole load of articles on Warcom and in White Dwarf of, here's the studios, like, random and weird, different, creations. Put some of that creativity back into the hobby. Anyway, I could keep rambling on this like for another 18 minutes, so I apologise for wasting your time. I love Space Marines. I really do. And I don't begrudge anyone else who loves Space Marines, because they are cool. And I want more of it. I really do. I'd be happy getting more and more Space Marine releases. I really would. But I also want the other races to get their turn. I want guys who love the Eldar, who love the Tau, who love, the Orcs and all the other races out there to get their time in the sun, to have fun, to be able to gloat about how great their models are. Because it is good. It's so much better when we all get, our own extra bits. Do you guys agree or disagree? Let me know down below. As always, guys, let's have a conversation. And if you want to support the channel, liking, commenting and subscribing is for free. If you're looking at picking up any of the new pre-orders that have gone up today, then you can use my code over at Element Games of JAM737. And that will double your reward points. I know a lot of you guys have done it. A couple of people have mentioned that they've done it enough to be able to order stuff for free. Which is great, and obviously that helps me because it gives me some points as well, and means that I can save up to get things myself. I'm currently saving to buy the new tank, the Fellblade, is it? Yeah, the Fellblade, which is £100 on Element Games. I want to get that with just points. Only because I can't afford it with money, because I've literally just had to spend £220 on a dentist appointment because a filling fell out of my head last night. So if you have some pity and you've made it all the way to the end of this video, just pop in the comments that dentists suck. Alright guys, my name is Bando, this is Brexit Bando. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.